I've covered the costs for college, you know. Acting all high and mighty over that? High and mighty? You know that $45,000 is a considerable amount of money, don't you? Ah, just be quiet. Anyway, don't act like you're doing me a favor. Don't come to my daughter's wedding either. And then the eldest son's wife verbally abused me, treating me with contempt no matter what. I had reached my limit with her attitude. With a beaming smile, I said to her, "If you're going to go that far, I'll gladly stay away." My name is Emily, a 69-year-old housewife. My husband passed away 4 years ago, and now I live alone in a large house. The four of us, my husband, my 2 sons, and I, used to live in this house. Currently, my eldest son, Tom, is 47 years old, and my younger son, Richard, is 43 years old. Both have their own families. This house used to be very lively and noisy. My sons were mischievous and would always run around the yard playing catch, and they would sometimes fight over competitive video games. My husband and I would have to scold them and temporarily confiscate the games on such occasions. As the children grew older, they stopped fighting and began to seriously consider their future paths, such as high school and college. They were both good children who studied properly, even asking to attend cram school on their own. Therefore, both of them advanced to prestigious schools and went on to attend high-level universities. Sending both of our children to college was financially challenging, but my husband worked hard and held a decent position, so we were able to raise our 2 sons without worrying about money. After our sons became independent, my husband and I enjoyed our time together, spending our days leisurely. We traveled abroad, went on local hot spring trips, and made lots of enjoyable memories. A few years passed, and my eldest son got married, followed soon after by my younger son. I realized then how suddenly things in life can change. As we talked about possibly seeing our grandchildren soon, my husband and I celebrated our sons' marriages. Then, soon after their marriage, my eldest son and his wife had a child. Born to them was a beautiful girl named Allie. Meeting our first grandchild was truly moving. My husband and I, growing tearful in our old age, were so happy that we cried as we held our grandchild. "Come on, Mom and Dad, you're getting too emotional." Even with my eldest son's teasing, the tears wouldn't stop. From then on, my husband and I celebrated our grandchild's special occasions as much as we could. We contributed money for various ceremonies, such as the celebration of the Children's Growth Festival, entrance ceremonies, and graduation. Seeing our grandchild happy was a joy, and knowing our eldest son was pleased also made us happy. Our eldest son would send us pictures of Ellie at various milestones, and this became something we looked forward to. A few years later, a lovely baby boy was born to our younger son and his wife. We were happy that both our sons had children. Of course, without any discrimination, we celebrated and adored our younger son's child just as we did with our eldest son's child, especially during special occasions. The whole family gathered for joyous times during New Year's or the special summer holidays, and we had fun barbecuing in the yard where Tom and his brother used to run around. Seeing our sons show their own children their parents' faces made us deeply reflective about how much time had passed. Time flew by quickly, and the grandchildren grew rapidly. Ellie, the daughter of our eldest son's family, started to stay with us for extended periods during the summer break from around 5th grade. Tom and his wife wanted some time alone as a couple. This was essential, and it was good for both us and the grandchildren as we could spend time together. Ellie was such a good girl. She shared many stories about school with my husband and me and helped me with cooking. She was a very responsible child. Even when we dined out together, she would always thank the server herself, and we felt that Tom and his wife had raised her well. There was actually something I was a little worried about. It was about Tom's wife, Catherine. Catherine is generally a good person, but she has a somewhat difficult or irritable personality. I didn't know where her triggers were, and she would sometimes snap at unexpected comments. When was that, I wonder? I once casually asked Catherine, "Are you not working and staying as a full-time housewife?" For me, it was just simple conversation, just a question without any deep meaning. But at that time, Catherine stared at me sharply. "Is it wrong to be a full-time housewife?" Huh? Do you think women have to work too? You were a full-time housewife too, weren't you? Isn't it strange to tell me to work and only me? Even though I hadn't said anything, she quickly said such things, and I was taken aback. I'm not saying anything like that. Calm down, Catherine. At least Tom's wife stopped being angry with me then, but from that time on, I had been a little uncomfortable with her. I didn't know when she might lose her temper, and she seemed difficult to approach. Even when I was interacting with my granddaughter, she would look at me with watchful eyes, making me wonder if I had done something wrong. That's why I was a little worried about whether Ellie, who was raised by Tom's wife, would have no personality issues. However, such worries were unfounded, and Ellie grew up to be a very good girl. Even after becoming a middle school student and then a high school student, Ellie was incredibly kind and honest, and she treated my husband and me very well. But in the midst of all this, something very unfortunate happened to me. It was the death of my beloved husband. My husband developed cancer, and a year later, he took his last breath. I was truly saddened by the loss of my husband, with whom I had been together for many years. It took time to recover, but I gradually regained my energy. Then, an unfortunate incident happened to Tom and his family. What? The company went bankrupt? Yes, that's right. So, now I'm unemployed. Shockingly, Tom's company went bankrupt suddenly due to the economic downturn. So, Tom and his wife came to me with a request. "Mom, the truth is, we're falling behind on Ellie's college tuition payments. I'm really sorry to ask this, but could you help us with the admission fee and this year's tuition? Please, Emily, help us. Please help us. It's painful to think that our daughter, who got into the college she wanted to attend, might not be able to go." Even Tom's wife, who had always been so difficult, bowed her head and pleaded with me. "Of course I will. I'll help Ellie as much as needed." I said that and immediately handed over the college entrance fee and first-year tuition to Tom. "Mom, thank you so much. I'll never forget this kindness." "It's fine. Just let me know whenever you're in trouble." After that, it seems that Ellie was able to enter college safely. Ellie, are you enjoying college? Yes, it's really fun. I've made some friends and the classes are really interesting. Is that so? Well, I'm glad to hear that. Seeing my granddaughter happy made me feel glad that I helped. I also received word from Tom that he had successfully found a new job. "Mom, I'll definitely pay back the money you gave me." No, it's fine. That was money I gave you. Rather, focus on saving money to make up for the difficult time you had while you were unemployed. Thank you, Mom. Everything seemed to have settled nicely. That's what I thought, but almost a year later, my daughter-in-law unexpectedly came to my house alone. "What's going on? It's unusual for you to come alone, Catherine." "I have a favor to ask of you, Emily." "What is it?" "Actually, I want to ask for your help with Ellie's college expenses again this year." "What?" "Tom has found a new job and is working properly, right? Can't he pay for the tuition now?" Well, since he changed jobs, his salary has decreased quite a bit. Really? He didn't mention that. I think he probably didn't want to worry you. I see. It was indeed something that could happen with my eldest son. My eldest son has a strong sense of responsibility and has a habit of taking everything on himself. I think he must have reached his limit with Ellie's college entrance fee and first year tuition, so he asked for my help. He probably believes that he can't rely on me any further now that he's reemployed. I came here today without telling Tom again. Tom says he'll manage on his own, but considering our funds for our old age, the reality is that it's tough. So I thought maybe I could ask for your assistance again, mother-in-law. The eldest daughter-in-law said so and bowed her head. I was a little hesitant, but I decided to help again this year. That's fine. There's still some of your father's inheritance left. And above all, it's for Ellie's sake. I thought I would be willing to give as much as necessary for my dear granddaughter. Thank you, Emily. Can you keep this a secret from Tom? I think he would feel responsible and worry about it. I see. Okay. Thank you very much. Since then, my eldest son's family has come to my house, their parental home, several times, and it seems that both Tom and Ellie are enjoying themselves without any problems. However, a year later, my daughter-in-law came to me again to ask for help with tuition. Has Tom's income not increased yet? Yes, that's right. The rent for our apartment is fairly high and life is tough. I know it's shameful, but can I ask for your assistance again? I started to feel something was wrong around this time. I ended up providing financial assistance for the tuition without thinking to doubt my daughter-in-law. I just handed over the money thoughtlessly, thinking that as long as my eldest son Tom and my granddaughter Ellie were happy and living peacefully, it was fine. Perhaps living alone in my family home and feeling lonely had something to do with it. Helping others seemed to be one way to fill the emptiness in my heart. But the next year, my daughter-in-law came to me again, demanding tuition for Ellie. This time, I was really at a loss. Are you really struggling that much with money? You, living on a pension, may not understand the impact of this recession. Is that so? We're really at our wits' end. Even Ellie's facing difficulties finding employment, and if she doesn't graduate from college, who knows what will happen in the future. With that, my daughter-in-law started crying. Wait a minute, Catherine, calm down. I understand, I'll help you, so please don't worry. Thank you, Emily. Thus, I ended up paying all of Ellie's college tuition. The total amount reached approximately $45,000. Honestly, it's quite a blow, but I convinced myself that it's okay if it is for my granddaughter's future. Grandma, I've successfully graduated from college and found a job. Congratulations, Ellie. It's all because you worked so hard, Ellie. Thank you, but it's all thanks to you, Grandma. Huh? You paid for my college entrance fee and tuition for the first year, didn't you? I heard from my dad that when his company went bankrupt and things were tough, you helped us out. Thank you so much. No, it's fine. I thought that just being thanked like that by Ellie was enough. After that, Ellie became a working adult and started working hard. She occasionally contacts me or comes to see me on her own, and she seems to be enjoying her work and living fulfilling days. Since my husband passed away and I live alone, it's really nice that she takes the time to come and see me, and I think Ellie is truly a good girl. My second son's family has been living far away for about 15 years due to a job transfer and can't come here easily. So I'm truly grateful that Ellie comes to see me. About 2 years after Ellie started working, She came to my house one day. Ellie, you seem to have a happy look on your face. You can tell? I guess my joy is showing on my face. Something good happened? Actually, I'm getting married. What? Married? Surprised by this, I said, and Ellie nodded with a flushed face. Congratulations, Ellie! Grandma is really happy too. Thank you, Grandma. You have to come to the wedding. Yes, of course I'll go. I'm looking forward to it. I was very happy. My tiny, cute granddaughter was getting married already. Time really does fly. I eagerly awaited my granddaughter's wedding day, spending each day in anticipation. I received a wedding invitation, marked my attendance with a circle, and sent it back. Ellie's big day is almost here. Maybe I should go to the hair salon and get a new dress. I was thinking such things. Then, suddenly, my eldest son's wife came to my house. Catherine, what on earth is going on? My eldest son's wife wore an incredibly unfriendly expression. I thought this couldn't be good. She stomped into the living room and plopped down on the sofa without permission. I wondered what was happening and took a seat across from her. I'll get right to the point. Could you please not come to Ellie's wedding? What? Why? Because I find your presence annoying. Annoying? I was shocked at what she said. Wait, you can't just say something like that out of the blue and expect me to accept not going to the wedding. I don't care whether you agree or disagree, Emily. I've always hated you. And yet, I don't know how, but you've managed to charm Ellie. Thanks to that, it was really unpleasant hearing her talk about you at home. But I even paid for her college tuition. Huh, acting all high and mighty over something like that? You understand how much money $45,000 is, don't you? Besides, isn't Ellie the star of the wedding? I've been invited by Ellie, you know? Enough already. Just don't act so self-righteous. Please don't come to my daughter's wedding. With that, my eldest son's wife cursed at me. Her continuous mistreatment of me was more than I could bear. I spoke with a beaming smile. I understand. If you say so, I'll gladly not attend. When I said that, my eldest son's wife was momentarily surprised but quickly smiled. It's a promise. Please don't come. I understand. Don't worry. And my eldest son's wife left with a triumphant peace. I immediately called my eldest son. Can you come over? There's something important I need to talk about. My eldest son came over as soon as I asked. I then explained what had just transpired with my daughter-in-law. What? Catherine said that? Yes, that's what happened. Also, she told me to keep it a secret, but I paid Ellie's college tuition for all 4 years. Well, wait a minute. That must be a mistake, right? I should have been paying for Ellie's tuition from my salary. What? But Catherine came to me every year asking for the money. That's why I gave her the money each year. She said that your salary wasn't increasing much. No, I started at the same salary as my previous job after re-employment, and I've been getting raises every year. What? So I've been able to pay for Ellie's tuition from my salary. I can't believe it. But I did make the transfers to Catherine when she asked. I wondered if I had anything to prove this, so I brought out the bank book I had kept as evidence. Look, here's the evidence that I've transferred money to Catherine's account. It's true. There's also more evidence. I had actually recorded the conversation with my daughter-in-law earlier. I had a bad feeling when she arrived with an unenthusiastic face. I can't believe she deceived my mom and took her money. My eldest son was trembling with anger. I felt the same way. I won't forgive her. Let's call Ellie here. My eldest son said this and called his daughter. Ellie, who had heard that there was an important discussion, came over with some nervousness. However, she was at a loss for words when she heard the story from my son. My mother did such a thing? But wait! Saying that, Ellie seemed to remember something and started talking. I did notice her buying a lot of branded items all of a sudden. I thought it was because Dad's salary increased, but she was actually spending the money she took from Grandma. We swore to take revenge on my deceitful daughter-in-law in our fury. On the day of the wedding, I boycotted the ceremony. Instead, my son showed me the scene of the wedding through a video call. I could see my oblivious daughter-in-law enjoying her drink happily. Then came the time for the bride to read a letter to the family, and Ellie stood in front of the microphone. I have something to tell you all today. My grandmother, who was supposed to be here today, isn't present. My grandmother has always been very kind and treated me with love. That's why I loved her so much. I wanted her to come to the wedding, of course, but she isn't here today because of a particular reason. That reason is my mother. My mother, who is my grandmother's daughter-in-law, disliked her and told her not to attend the wedding. Moreover, I found out that she was appealing to my grandmother's emotions and collecting $45,000 for my college expenses, even though she wasn't actually in financial trouble. The whole began to stir at Ellie's words. I could see my daughter-in-law rushing towards the stage in a panic. What, Ellie? What nonsense are you talking about? Mom, it's not nonsense. I have the evidence right here, and I know what you've been doing with the money you took from Grandma. What? Mom, you were having an affair behind Dad's back, weren't you? What are you saying? It's no use hiding it. I've had it investigated by a private detective and got the evidence. Dad is going to divorce you and get compensation. And you'll also have to pay back the $45,000 you stole from Grandma. That can't be... The daughter-in-law collapsed on the spot, with everyone's attention on her. Knowing that so many people now knew about her affair, she probably felt that she couldn't go on living. Later, Ellie apologized to the people at the venue and confidently returned to her seat after presenting everyone with a glass of high-quality wine. The daughter-in-law ran away from the venue. I watched her escape through the video call, thinking to myself, serves her right. Then the eldest son divorced and claimed compensation from Catherine and her lover for the affair. He also claimed the $45,000 she had taken from me. As a result, Catherine ended up in debt to the tune of $72,000. She's apparently now working multiple part-time jobs, desperately trying to pay off the debt. It serves her right. Meanwhile, I've started living with my eldest son in my house. Ellie and her husband come to visit, and we all go out to eat regularly. From now on, I plan to cherish my family, including my eldest son, Ellie, and the family of my second son, and enjoy the rest of my life.